Arsenal made a bold proposal to one of its stars, offering 5 years of contract to William Saliba, in an operation that makes it clear the club is determined to keep its defensive pillar away from Real Madrid's clutches and other European giants. Recent information says that the Gunners, with Andrea Berta leading the scene, want to ensure Saliba's future long before their contract enters the final stretch. This is more than one financial hit. It is a matter of identity, stability, and ambition. Since returning to the lawns by Arsenal in 2022-23, Saliba has transformed. No more promise, it has become a defensive reality, a reference of firmness, composure, game reading. He has made well more than 130 matches for the team, scored goals, contributes decisive passes, and has gained respect inside and outside England. But of course, none of this escapes the eyes from the outside. Real Madrid is watching? Yes. The press says that Los Blancos monitors his situation. They want someone who can reinforce the defense, perhaps already thinking about 2026 or 2027, when some pieces there will get older or be close to the end of the contract. Arsenal knows this, understands that there is real pressure, and is acting quickly. The proposal Arsenal offered Saliba is 5 years, with significant salary increase, to reflect that he is already among the best in the world in his position. They want to ensure that Saliba does not reach 2027, when his contract ends, in the vulnerable position of being able to transfer free or for less extortionate price. Within Arsenal, there is optimism that it accepts. Nearby sources say conversations are advancing well, that there is a mutual will. Club and player want to continue together. Saliba, it seems, is focused on the Arsenal, with high goals for Champions League, Premier League. He sees that he can reach grandiose things here, but it is not guaranteed that this agreement comes out without mishaps. Real Madrid keeps watching, wondering if it will be possible to wait to make an offer at the right time, perhaps when Saliba has less contract time, which would reduce the value. In addition, other European clubs also appear punctually as interested, which generates pressure for Arsenal to offer not only money but conditions, visibility of titles, tactical backing. In Arsenal's squad, Saliba's value is indisputable. He forms one of the best Premier League defender partnerships with Gabriel Magalhaes, ensuring solidity, body, presence, ability to build game from behind. The crowd knows this, understands that losing a player of this caliber is not just giving a problem for replacement, is losing part of the soul of a system that has been evolving under Mikel Arteta. Andrea Berta, the sports director, appears as a key piece in these negotiations. He knows that Arsenal is experiencing a moment of affirmation. Reinforcements have arrived. The club has shown ambition, wants more. He also understands that letting Saliba escape free or reduced cost would be heavy strategic failure. There are external signs of restlessness. The sports press of France, Spain, and England publishes analyses of Saliba's risk of accepting some Madrid proposal or to be seduced by tradition of titles outside England. This kind of argument weighs, especially in players at the height. On the other hand, within the club there is conviction that Arsenal's arguments, stability, growth, possibility of playing important European titles, are strong. If the team remains competitive, if it continues to advance in key competitions, Saliba's perspective is real. This kind of situation brings tension between the player's desire, external temptation, financial insurance, desire to test new horizons. Many players in similar situations choose to go through that big name or bigger history. But Saliba seems to be pondering the pros and cons, and the Arsenal, of course, tries to make the pros for any shine from Madrid. Tactically, losing Saliba would be a blow. Defending high, avoiding aerial balls, building from behind, keeping a firm defense line, it all depends a lot on the safety it gives. If he leaves, who assumes? Arsenal has invested in new names, but nothing is still equivalent to what Saliba delivers in consistency. For the team, there is also the pressure to show results. If Arsenal wants to convince Saliba and convince fans, needs, in the coming seasons, to be really fighting for titles. It's no use just promising. You need to fulfill. I have seen that some injuries of him worry. Small stops, moments out, but nothing serious to the point of compromising the future, at least for now. Negotiations are expected to be resolved ahead of long, that everything with Saliba directs to a yes of the player, who extend this 5-year contract, accept the highest salary terms, and remain as a piece of defensive design of the Gunners. But even if it accepts, there will be increasing pressure to match. Fans will expect him to maintain high performance, not to hesitate in the leader who shows personality in the hardest stages of the season. If the answer is yes, it will be a double victory. Arsenal holds a key player, shows institutional strength, conveys clear message to other clubs. Don't come for free. If it is a non-quiet, there will be a headache. Real Madrid will insist again, and the Arsenal will need to negotiate or get a replacement that immediately convinces. The question that is in the air is, will Saliba accept? The scenario suggests yes, but in football nothing is written until the signature on paper. The crowd awaits. Right, I believe, if you trust Arsenal will be able to keep Saliba. The psychological factor also weighs at these times. Players like Saliba do not only think about the next salary, but in the legacy, in the shirt it represents, in the relationship with the fans. He knows he is an idol, and you also know that if it is pro-Real Madrid and not a starter, it can weigh on your career. At the same time, there is a name that emerges as shadow and hope for the fans: Christian Mosquera. The Spanish defender, newcomer to Valencia, is seen as potential successor of Saliba. It has a physicist. There is a presence, there is reading, but it is still young. Arsenal believes it can become a monster, but it is early. The Mosquera itself has already impressed in its debut against Liverpool in Anfield. Cold, firm, vertical. There is still a little missing in the air game and needs to calibrate aggressiveness, but the material is there. If Saliba leaves, it may be the next leader of the defender. Now tell me, fans, would you trust the Mosquera as immediate substitute for Saliba, or do you think Arsenal should do the impossible to hold the French? Declare, "I'm Gunner," if you support the team in any situation, victory or defeat. The truth is that the cast today has options. Ricardo Calafiori can play inside, Gabriel follows solid, White returning from injury, Tomiyasu is multi-purpose. But none of them have the weight, the grandeur, the respect that Saliba commands. When he steps on the field, opponents respect. In addition, Saliba is a reference for the younger ones. Miles Lewis-Skelly, for example, is trying to gain space again. He is still a boy, was cut from the English team under 21 for physical reasons, but is already in the sights of the main team. And he himself said in interviews that he sees Saliba as an example. Saliba's injury can make room for Calafiori to go to the middle and Lewis-Skelly appear on the left. This shows that even in a tense moment, the cast has a margin of maneuver. But there is no doubt that the permanence of the French would be a huge relief for Arteta. The game against Nottingham Forest approaches and is expected to return to important names. Ben White returned to training, Nørgaard too. With this, Arteta can rotate the cast more and save some pieces like Zubimendi, which has been overloaded. The moment is sensitive. Losing Saliba would be a thud, but seeing the club acting fast, offering a new contract, signals that Arsenal has learned from past mistakes. Now it is acting firmly and closing this before the January window begins to rock again. Comment, "I trust the shirt," if you think the Gunners will go around. What's more, if this contract is signed in the coming days, as they are saying sources close to the club, the announcement will be one of those bombs, here we go style, with video at Emirates, photos with the pen in hand, and Arta next door. The board knows the weight of this moment. Holding Saliba is not just keeping a player, is sending a message to Premier League, the fans, the investors, to UEFA, to the whole world. And who knows, if he renews, Arsenal already departs with everything to renew with Saka, Gabriel, Odegaard for more years, to make the core all tied until 2030. Comment, "Game is war," if you think the next confrontation will be decisive for the season. And you who are listening to, you already know. If this kind of update leaves you with hot blood, waste no time. Activates now the bell with the option all and ensures that you will know first when this bomb bursts once and for all. Saliba's renewal can come out at any time, and you won't want to figure it out of another channel. And look, if you're still there thinking that this Saliba renewal is just another news, it's because you didn't understand the size of this decision to the future of Arsenal. This here, partner, is not just a contract, it's a statement of war. It's Arsenal saying to the world, Cabello is over. Let's no longer be a trampoline for anyone. If Saliba signs this 5-year contract, the club stings once and for all its intention to be a protagonist in England and Europe. Forget that Arsenal that sold its best players at the height. This new Arsenal, with Andrea Berta, Edu Gaspar, and Arteta in charge, is putting the cards on the table and playing heavy. Now, if he doesn't sign, then he holds, because the bomb will explode in another way. Real Madrid won't wait. Sharks will surround, and there is pressure on the board, suspicion in the crowd, and a maximum temperature transfers window. The truth is that everything will depend on Saliba's decision, and that's why this is the most important news of the season so far, because she will dictate the rhythm of everything that comes ahead, on and off the pitch. And if you really want to understand what this renewal means, if you want to know how it connects with Arsenal's next steps on the market, the situation of Nketiah, Partey, Ramsdale, and even with the renewal of Odegaard that is already being cooked behind the scenes, you need to see the videos that sow in our exclusive playlist, Latest Arsenal News. There, I get rid of everything, name by name, contract, strategy. It is content made for those who live the Arsenal as religion, direct, hot, and without winding. So do the following now. Go to the playlist, fixed in the comments or the final screen of this video, click and watch everything. Because if you want to be one step ahead of the English media, the rival fans, and even the insiders who live on clickbait, that's where you will find the truth of what is going on inside Emirates Stadium. And I'm already warning, the next video will have a weight name on the radar. Do you know that striker who threw the Euro and left Arsenal with an eye? He's closer than you think. If you don't want to be the last to know, you already know the way. Declare, victory is ours. If you trust the 3 points against the next opponent, and now go straight to playlist, because what comes next will mess with the heart of any Arsenal fan. I find you there.